All right, welcome in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. It is Monday, February 23rd, right here on Jocks. Glad you're with us. Big weekend in sports. A lot happening, a lot going on. A lot for us to get to. We will get to college football throughout the course of the show today. There are some new potential rules that are going to be coming down in college football we need to discuss. More legal action in college football that we'll discuss. A raise that felt unnecessary from late last week that we have not discussed. A scheduling option we hadn't got to. And a list that I feel like will be important and relevant to this show that we need to have a discussion on. Obviously, SEC basketball was big over the weekend. Nice wins for Auburn and Alabama over the weekend. More of a must-get, must-have for Auburn on the basketball court. But most of the weekend, really mainly yesterday, as the Olympics ended, dominated by this story, having most people around their TVs early yesterday morning asking, what the puck?
Now Jack Hughes puts it around the court. United States with numbers. Walk across it comes. Jack Hughes wins it. The golden goal for the United States. For the first time since the 1980 miracle, the United States takes the gold.
Been close before, but able to actually wrap it up yesterday and get that thing done. And it was one. I know a lot of folks that aren't normally, Greg, paying a lot of attention to hockey, aren't dialed into hockey. It was tough not to watch that one yesterday and feel excited about how it was going down.
It was awesome. Great game. The goalie for USA played out of his mind, Connor Hallebuck, and he had honestly come under some criticism at times, been a little inconsistent. But man, he was up to the task last night or yesterday afternoon.
How big is he, by the way?
He's a big boy, dude. I mean, they're all these goalies now have gotten big. They used to be a little undersized, athletic, kind of cat-like, but now they're getting bigger. I mean, you see some guy kind of started about 15 years ago with Pekka Rinne and a few other guys that became like 6'5", 6'6".
6'4", 207.
Yeah, he's a big boy. Like there's a few guys that are in that vicinity now, and that's on skates, so they're really standing at like 6'7". Maybe 6'8". I don't even know how tall skates are nowadays, but he played out of his mind. The format in overtime 3-on-3 is incredible. I mean, that's wide open ice. You can't cover the guys.
I didn't know they were good. They did that now.
I didn't either. I thought it was 4-on-4.
Explaining overtime, and my middle child was asking about how he wanted, he wanted penalty shots and couldn't wait for that. And I was just like, yeah, it'd be awesome if we can get to that. And then I didn't realize that we switched to that.
Yeah.
Makes sense though, from the standpoint of not just extending things out for a long time. But it was wild to see. I didn't realize that they changed that. But it was cool to watch yesterday. Jack Hughes, a 24-year-old born in Orlando, plays for the New Jersey Devils, and he gets that, as Tirico beautifully stated, golden goal yesterday. I thought, going back to that point a moment ago, I don't watch a ton of it. I don't dial into it. I was a little surprised just at how many of the size of a lot of the guys playing. Like there was a dude, I think it was 72 for Team USA. He looked like he was 6'8".
He's a left tackle. He just
That's what he looked like.
Kept his number.
I mean, I couldn't believe how big the dude was. I'm trying to find him right now, see if I can find just 74, Jacob Slavin. No, 6'3", 207. That couldn't have been him. There's got to be another 70 number in there.
Either way, though, I mean, the guys have gotten bigger. I mean, it's no different than any other sport. Like, you just see more athletic guys, and it's still super cool. I love hockey. Always have. I'm really happy that hockey has become. I'm not saying it's become more mainstream. Let's not get twisted. We're not going to have some drastic overreaction like we do after the World Cup every year. It's, oh, this is the event that's going to just thrust this sport into the mainstream. Like all of a sudden soccer is going to become the most popular sport in the world, in America next year because the World Cup's here. Like I'm not going to be that.
It's the fastest growing sport, not the most popular.
Well, I'm not going to be dumb enough to go on that, to die on that hill. But I do think it was cool, given the patriotic nature of our country in some spots nowadays, to see the level of embrace, not just for the U.S. men's hockey team, but really kind of all throughout the Olympics. It was just cool. And it was capped off beautifully yesterday with a big win against Canada. It was a really good game, entertaining game. And I hope that some of the excitement, because it's really the more the guys that you're rooting for. Like the hockey guys have always been the best guys. Always. Like no one will ever push back on that knows all the locker rooms. Like hockey guys are the best guys. The most down to earth, the most blue collar, the most hardworking, the toughest. Hockey guys are the best guys on planet Earth. And it's probably best exemplified in a game which you're making $0. $0 being made. Jack Hughes yesterday gets his teeth broken off.
Doesn't care.
And then scores the game-winning goal.
Bloody mouth, half a tooth, and he's in there getting the game winner. Sorry, it was Tage Thompson, my guy.
Tage is his name?
Tage. Tage? Tage? Tag.
Tage.
Tag.
Tag.
Tag. Tag Thompson. 6'6", 220. And I forgot about this because my brother-in-law, he's from Buffalo, and he texted me and he was like, "Tell me you weren't into that hockey," because he's always trying to get me to watch more hockey. I was like, "No, it's great." And he goes, I was like, "I couldn't believe how big some of those dudes are." And he goes, "Yeah, 72 is a monster. It's my son's favorite player because they're Sabres fans. He plays for the Sabres." I had forgotten that he told me about that. So, but you know him. He's the University of Connecticut, Hockey East alum.
I'm confused.
Comes from the never-ending line of University of Connecticut East.
Oh, gotcha.
Hockey East guys.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So
long lineage of
what is Hockey East?
Not West.
So guys from the East like hockey are called Hockey East guys.
I would imagine they have a Hockey West team.
Are you talking about UConn specifically?
University of Connecticut (parentheses) Hockey East. Do they have a University of Connecticut Hockey West, North, or South?
Is that D1?
Maybe UConn's so good at hockey, they can put satellite campuses or Camp I in each portion of the country and just have them multidimensional. They're like the University of Phoenix of hockey.
Love that.
They're just everywhere.
That makes sense
to me. If you're good enough, then you just go play. Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
Kind of wild, though, when you look at where most of the guys play. There's a couple of Michigan, Nebraska, Omaha, a couple of Minnesota. But a lot of smaller schools too, and then some. Obviously, they're good enough they don't even mess with college. They just hit straight in there. I agree with you though. The athletes are just the hockey guys feel more different, and I also think it plays to our advantage that we don't know the individuals as much because then you're not rooting for the individual as much. It almost forces you to root more for the team.
Yes, which
was cool yesterday. And I think specifically going against Canada. I mean,
no question.
Unless Russia was still around. That would be the only other one that I would look at and say would be more of a rival in that setting on that ice because Russians for a long period of time were dominant as it pertained to hockey. But Canada is the premier hockey place on earth in my mind. And to do it against them specifically
it's their national sport.
With how it's happened before, going down to them on that setting, on that stage, it was just pretty cool to get it done yesterday. Because like you said, goaltender out of his mind.
Out of his mind.
The amount. I kept yelling to my kids. I was like, the defense, and it wasn't just him, really. A lot of other guys. The defense was unbelievable because there were multiple shots on goal.
Right.
That you felt like a couple breakaways, a couple one-on-ones where you're like, there's no way. Like they're not stopping that again. Wow, they stopped that again, and it was cool to watch, man. It was fun. A nice distraction of having no football yesterday for sure.
Yeah, I mean I thought Hallebuck was unbelievable. Just the whole game in general. And then to see, and I don't often use social media, but the amount of texts, Instagram posts that were sent to group messages that I was on that I thus clicked on. I can't imagine what my algorithm would be. It'd be like the most patriotic algorithm of all time.
Wait a minute. You count group texts as social media?
When they send me
they give
tweets,
you links. Got it.
Yeah, links. When they're sending links, I'm clicking the links and watching the videos built in within the links. It was unbelievable. I mean, the amount of Freebird I heard yesterday was ridiculous. And there was one video in which a guy was smoking a cigarette, drinking a beer, and playing Freebird solo on the guitar all at the same time. Correct.
You sure it wasn't like just in someone's yard over here?
You heard that was exactly what transpired.
I feel like that's a Saturday around here.
I was sitting there. I was like, "This is aggressive." I'd love to know right now what his recovery is on his whoop today, because that guy was having a day.
You think he has a whoop?
Not sure.
Okay,
doesn't matter. But it was really cool yesterday. I do think that there's like a certain level, and it helps that I think we're not having the Olympic Games in where was it, Pyeongchang last time?
Yeah, the
I think
time
so.
difference was just
The time
brutal.
change was so much easier this time to actually watch the Olympics. The numbers were off the charts good. But I also think there is like a certain level of American pride that was on display throughout the Olympics. Like I was actually really had a rooting interest in individuals at times, regardless of what country they came from. You know, like did kind of root for Claybo, the unbelievable cross-country skier. But that's kind of what it developed into. It's like, oh, that guy's got a cool story. I'll root for him. Now it's
Mo
like I'm rooting
Claiborne,
for
great linebacker. Enjoyed watching him back in the day.
who?
Mo Claiborne, USC. Was
Not-
a fan of his.
No, Claybo.
Got it.
Yes, the guy, Jurgen Claybo or something like whatever.
I
his
didn't
name-
feel like there were near as many individual stories though to
Very
get involved
few.
with this time.
Very few. I think they
we get,
leaned
like,
into the American.
We get like the Tara Lipinski, Simone Biles. You have Dave and Dave, whatever you want to go back to. Like there seems to be always one or two. Now Lindsey Vonn was one, of course, and obviously hated to see the way they ended it for her. There just weren't as many. Hey, I can't wait to see what so and so does, or wait till you see so and so do this. There weren't as many. I didn't feel like stories, so I think it helped this even more. And obviously, being the last day too, I think helped a lot. And what, like you mentioned, very similar to some of the NFL games overseas, where the time fits almost perfectly. Where it's like, okay, you're just getting up, you don't have a lot going on.
For sure.
Either you're just getting back from church, or you skip church, like I did yesterday because my wife was out of town. Forgive us, please, but that wasn't happening. Yeah, just fit into the schedule much better, much easier. Kids aren't doing the sports at that time, so it made it cool to sit down with everybody and watch. But it was great yesterday, man. It was a nice distraction. Got me into it. I still don't know if I could. I got the old. It was funny because my 8-year-old a couple of times was like, that's offsides. Or he was like, that's backcourt. And I was like, well, no.
About that.
He goes, oh, no backcourt? And I was like, well, there's this thing called icing. And I said to myself, I should not have said that.
Yeah.
And then Tarico said it like twice. He's like, no icing there. And he goes, well, why not? And I said, you're going to have to wait until we're in Decatur and your Uncle Nico's in town again, who grew up in Buffalo watching hockey. He can potentially explain that, because I'm not even going to try to go down that path.
Not
telling
doing
you what
it.
icing is.
Not doing it.
I was called on it 5,700 times as a kid playing Blades of Steel, and I still don't know what it is. But I know they call it.
That's why I turned it off when I would play NHL 94 or 5, whatever. I would turn off icing.
It's when you clear the puck from beyond the red line. It's not that challenging.
Perfect, John.
Duh.
I mean, so the red line's basically center ice, and you clear the puck when you're not.
You hit it.
Huh?
You hit it with your stick.
No, you literally, like, you're on defense, and they're trying to score on your goal, and you're on your side of the 50-yard line of hockey.
Got it.
The 5YLOH, the 50-yard line of hockey.
Yep.
All right. You clear it.
Mid-court.
Yes. Mid-court. Right down the center of the court.
That's it.
The ice court. You clear it. You're on defense. You basically punt it to the other direction, and you're not on a power play. You're not trying to kill a penalty. So what they do, and because you can just clear it at any time, to discourage you just shooting it out of there.
Right.
And you have to kind of pass it out. So if it crosses two lines and gets beyond the goalie, then it's icing.
Does it have to be touched behind the line that's even with the goal on the other side?
They blow it dead. They used to have to be, you had to race back and touch it to get the icing call. No longer. As soon as it goes, because guys were going full speed and like smashing into the boards behind the ice.
So if it goes past that black line back there,
if it goes past the red
icing?
line, the goal line, it's automatically icing. So the defensive team that just cleared it has to stay on the ice and defend in their own zone, usually a fresh set of players. So that's part of the downside of it, is that you don't get to come off the ice and stop playing defense. You're immediately back on defense. Because they don't want you just to... Every time they...
I do understand what it's attempting to negate.
Yes.
But that last part that you just threw in about strategically with defense and whatnot, you lost me on that.
All you have to do, so second you get possession of the puck in your own defensive zone, you could, in theory, without icing, just slap shot it to the other end.
Sure.
And that would not be a fun watch. I mean, it'd be like soccer. Like every time you're on defense and
They
they
just-
kick it out of bounds,
right.
it's like, this is dumb.
Or just punt it.
Yeah,
Back
kick it
past
100
midfield.
yards, which is why soccer is, for many of us, not the most consumable sport. I don't know what I'm watching. It's a beautiful game. Get it. But it'd be like soccer. Hockey, they actually want to encourage you to possess the puck when leaving your own zone as opposed to just flipping the field.
I also feel like power plays should work a lot more often than they do.
Yeah,
It's
understandably.
almost frustrating to watch. I'm like, it is. Take any other sport and pull a man down and tell me that you're not just dominant. I don't know. We've seen a couple basketball teams play with forward and like hold their own. I don't know.
It can be done. I mean, you just play zone. It's not like you're forced
that's
to
what
play
they were doing
man.
yesterday.
Like,
They were just playing zone, and it was effective. But it feels like
the thing is, it's hard to like get shots off that actually get to the goalie. It's hard because the guys are laying down in front of the puck. It's like the only way you could score in basketball is if you had a dribble drive layup. Like that's the only way you're allowed to score. Let's imagine you're not allowed to shoot threes. You're not allowed to do any of that stuff. Like the only way you can score is if you dribble drive layup and the defense is all standing around the circle ready to take charges. That's like why it's kind of hard. Like you can still score, but it's like it's going to require a couple angles. It's going to require a little bit of creativity. Going to require some passing and like to find that little void.
not just velocity.
Yeah, because these guys are just laying down. They're just laying down in front of it. That's why deflections are effective and some other things like that. Like it's a hard sport, and it's also hard to just complete passes. Like these guys are the best in the world, and like they'll whiff on passes because these pucks are going 70 miles an hour on a pass, and they're trying to lay it down. It's wild.
The guys close space so fast. Also,
They do. They're so fast.
It's one thing that I noticed yesterday, just how quickly they get from looking wide open to all of a sudden not being wide open. It's entertaining.
It's a great watch.
I just don't have a lot of the strategy down pat, like I do with a lot of other things that I consume, and so therefore I don't quite watch it as much. But it was fun yesterday, and it brings me to other moments of patriotism watching sports. Like, when did you feel the most patriotism watching a sporting event? Well, it may have been yesterday for a lot of people. That may have been it. Some of that could be because of who you were with, where you were, how you watched it, because there are a couple of other moments that I think immediately come to mind. Some of those moments that we'll discuss as the show goes on. We'll let you be a part of it, too. Before we move to that, Greg, if you're looking to move out of your house, who should you call?
That'd be Crocker Movers. There's a local company owned by an Iraq War veteran, Eric Crocker. Crocker believes in hiring movers you can trust to complete full background checks and run drug tests on every single employee. These are good guys, and you can trust them in your home, whether your whole home packed up and moved, your company headquarters moved across the country, or you just want them to come rearrange your living room. They got you covered. They also do deliveries for furniture that you've purchased and you need to get to your home. So call or visit them online today for a free quote. The website's crockermovingservices.com. That's crockermovingservices.com. Support your veterans by choosing Crocker Moving Services for your next move.
All right, so we'll ask you, 800-239-9569, 800-239-WJOX, or text in 205-834-9450, tweet in at Mac and Cube. Your most patriotic moment, feeling of patriotism watching sports, when was that? We'll discuss it next right here on Jocks. We will continue the conversation on most patriotic moments for you watching sports. Maybe get Paul Finebaum's from him. He joins us each and every week thanks to our friends at Craneworks.
Lift it, load it, grade it, grind it, move it, haul it, rig it, dig it, Craneworks, Rentalworks, yeah! The big dog's got it.
Paul Finebaum on Mac and Cube in the morning is brought to you by Craneworks. Lift it, buy it, rent it, the big dog's got it. Now, Paul Finebaum.
Paul, always great to have you in on a Monday. Did you get sort of sucked into the Olympic hockey like we did yesterday, feeling a little more patriotic than normal watching a sporting event?
Yeah, I don't see there's any way you can't. If you are an American, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think most of us are. But it did take me back a little bit, Cole, and I know there's a lot of comparisons made to what happened in '80. But this was so totally different, though. That game against the Russians, I believe, was in the middle, late in the afternoon. It was not even televised live. And it was so much of a word of mouth situation. And by the time the game Sunday morning, I think it was against Finland, came, I don't want to say it was anticlimactic, but in some ways beating the Russians was probably the most important thing.
When you look at yesterday, Paul, and I know it's not something you cover on a daily basis, hockey. But I'm always curious, like, why hockey isn't more popular in the States. Like, I've always loved it. I've always enjoyed it. I do think there's not a ton of, like, American heroes in the sport. But why is hockey trailing so far beyond that of the other four major sports when it comes to popularity in the country?
Yeah, because I've been exposed to it. I used to go to hockey games, the minor league hockey games growing up, and I know a lot of people in Birmingham did as well, and do. But it's, I think it's just the time of the year. Not a lot of people skate. I mean, I think you think about every other sport, baseball, football, and basketball. There's an easy access for most people, not everyone. Hockey is hard to do. There aren't very many places you can go skate, especially in the South. But I know, Greg, you've worked and lived in the North. It's completely different up there. New York, Philadelphia, even St. Louis. Detroit, Chicago, as you work your way around, even spent some time in Tampa because of the success down there. But I can't explain it beyond the fact that most of us don't know how to skate.
Paul Finebaum joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline with us every Monday, thanks to our friends at Craneworks. The Rules Committee for College Football is going to consider taking away the carryover suspension in targeting. There are a lot of common sense things that we talk about in college football, Paul, that probably should happen. This feels like one of them. I will say the one danger that I fear with this, if it were to go through, is how do you keep the importance of safety around players not doing this? Where do you see this going as it pertains to college football rules in the near future?
Yeah, I think everybody hates when you see something happen and it carries over to a championship game or a playoff game. It's just there's no continuity to it. But you just simply have to make the penalty more severe. If you can't make it carry over, you have to make it so flagrant in the moment. Now, I'll defer to you guys. And how do you make it so egregious? But because there are certain limitations, you just can't march halfway down the field. But that is the only way to make it a serious deterrent without carrying over.
What do you think? I feel like targeting has been such a weird topic, though, Paul, because of the concern that you get from a standpoint of player safety. Is that something that maybe we're not as concerned about as we once were? I mean, we're talking about expanding the season. We're talking about 24 playoff games. I mean, give me a break. So, like, is player safety not front and center as much as it once was?
Well, I don't think it's front and center, but I think among the people that are in the game, it's still incredibly important. I can't tell you how often people come up and want to talk about concussions and things like that. And so I do think that people that understand the game and how fast it is and how dangerous it is have not lost sight of it. But I also understand that targeting is, I mean, I realize there's so many interpretations of it. What I've always had a difficult time is you're teaching as a defensive coach your players to be aggressive and violent. And that's hard to turn off in terms of a millimeter or a fraction of an inch or two. But I'm not obsessing over it, but I do think what you said, Cole, a minute ago was a pretty good idea to quit carrying this thing over. It just has nothing to do with the next game. It should have everything to do with the game where the flagrant foul was occurred.
Right, and specifically, Paul, like you said, that adjustment when the ball carrier makes that adjustment extremely late, and then that leads to one of these penalties. That's where I think we all watch it and say there's literally nothing that could be done. And that violent nature of how you're intended to attack someone, and just because their body moves and all of a sudden you hit them a different way when the intention wasn't there, it's tough to see somebody, especially late in the fourth, all of a sudden lose almost an entire another game because that takes place. Joey Aguilar was denied his injunction on Friday. We've seen a lot of these go back and forth, this sort of ping pong match between the NCAA courts, players, the NCAA. Do you see this one ending up any differently? Where do you see this going next for the Tennessee quarterback?
Yeah, I think the judge was afraid he was going to lay a precedent down, and I admire anybody that lives in a community like that to do what this guy did. I have no objection to what the judge did. It was baked into the cake that the fact that it was in Knoxville, I just assumed it would go Tennessee's way. The best ruling of all of these have been shambless. I mean, that was just absurd. How over a matter of documentation for something everyone knew was true, the NCAA was so belligerent and just simply would not allow. Bediako, I think, has been hashed out. Aguilar, to me, was just somebody who was trying to gin the system. Junior college has to count for something. And I think it was a good ruling, and that maybe it will stem this tide, although I don't think it will. I think players and especially attorneys are just going to keep shopping until they find a court that goes along with them.
But to have them in the cities and the communities in which, let's be real, I mean, there's partisan interest in the communities that these things are being tried in. So help me understand, like, what's the answer here when it comes to how these are tried? Because like you said, with it being in Knoxville, I thought for sure he was going to be granted a TRO at the very minimum and they'll just keep kicking the can down the road. So how do we adjust and kind of take these out of the courts that might have some rooting interest involved?
Well, I hate to sound like a college administrator, but there's only one way, and that's to get some sort of legislation, federal legislation that covers it. And I'm not sure I think we are down to the narrowest window for that to happen. It's not going to happen. But you're right, Greg. And I think those of us who host programs in communities like this understand not so much what the judge went through, but sometimes it's very difficult when your entire fan base is clamoring at the door. That's why this was probably a more important ruling than it may have seemed at the time, late on a Friday afternoon, because most judges will not do this because they are elected officials. They answer to the fans, and this judge even went even farther. I think he said the word "we" a couple of times, and was clearly a Tennessee fan. He shows that on social media. So I'm not saying this guy's going to be appointed to the Supreme Court based on his objectivity, but it was a rare moment, and it was a stunning upset.
Paul Finebaum joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline with us each and every Monday. We always appreciate the time. Always appreciate your opinions, Paul. Look forward to doing it again next week.
Thank you, guys.
Paul Finebaum with us, thanks to Crane Burks, weekly right here on Jocks. We teased it before Paul joined us. We'll go back to it here in just a moment. After watching USA's victory in hockey at the Olympics yesterday with the gold medal goal in overtime, 2-1, what was your most patriotic feeling watching a sporting event, watching sports? Was it yesterday? Was it a different moment? Are there a couple that immediately bring that to mind when I ask that question? We'll discuss that more on the other side. First, I'll tell you this. If you're looking for a new home in central Alabama, there's really only one way to go. It's Gusty Goulas and the Gusty Goulas Group. It should be an easy choice, mainly because the Gusty Goulas Group has served more than 3,000 home buyers and sellers in the greater Birmingham area. Since 2012, Gusty Goulas Group, recognized both nationally and locally as Greater Birmingham, Alabama's #1 team in homes sold. Gusty has over 850 five-star Google reviews. You can Google it right now. Just read for yourself. Brokered by eXp Realty. Call 205-542-1996 today. That's 205-542-1996, or visit GustyGoolsGroup.com and start packing. Most patriotic moment feeling watching sports for you. What was it? We'll discuss it next right here on Jocks. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. It is Monday, February 23rd on Jocks. Listen online, jocksfm.com. The app is in your app store, iPhone, Android. You can download that for free. You want to be a part of this segment, 800-239-9569. Text in 205-834-9450. Most patriotic moment you can recall watching a sporting event after USA's 2-1 win on the ice in hockey at the Olympics yesterday to grab a gold medal. It was pretty cool to see. Got a lot of people back into it and brought up some of those patriotic feels that I know we've had a few other times. We'll get to those. Don't forget, you can watch us live on YouTube each and every morning. Search Jocks945. Download the Jocks app. You can get it in iTunes, Android for free, or tell your home smart speaker to enable the Jock skill.
Bill Smith Buick GMC is the GMC Dealer of the Year, the national champion of GMC dealers. They did it again, ladies and gentlemen. That's their 6th year in a row. 6. in which they've been named the Dealer of the Year. There's no one else in Alabama that's come close. There's no one else in Alabama that's won the award. They've won it 9 times. It's unbelievable to think just how good Bill Smith Buick GMC has been. They're a dynasty, and they're just a short drive up the road, up I-65, exit 310, Highway 31. You just take that short drive, and you save a lot of money. Seems easy enough. Go and get yourself a 2026 Encore GX Sport Touring Edition. $32,275 is the list price. You can take $7,200 and change off that list price. Get it for $25,000. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. That is a ridiculous deal on a sporty, economical SUV. So take the short drive to Coleman to be glad you did. Go see Andy Cole. Go see Jonathan Yeager, and know that 75% of their business repeat customers. That's because you have a better experience when you shop with Bill Smith. Take the short drive to Coleman. You can also shop online. Have it delivered right to your driveway at BillSmithBuickGMC.com.
800-239-9569. 800-239-WJOX. You can tweet in at Mac and Cube. Most patriotic moments for you watching a sporting event. Yesterday, towards the top of the list for a lot of people. Team USA gets a 2-1 win in the gold medal game at hockey at the Olympics. I think for a lot of people immediately, you're going to go to February 12th, 1991, with Whitney Houston singing the Star-Spangled Banner during the Persian Gulf War. That would be towards the top of the list for a lot of people that watch that one live. Just because you're in the middle of conflict and how incredible the actual anthem was, I don't think if you saw that one live, it's not going to be in your top 3 or towards the top of the list for anybody else. What sticks out immediately for you, John, when you're thinking most patriotic moments watching a sporting event?
That was one that came to mind. Another one was the World Series after 9/11. President Bush coming out throwing that first pitch. I think Lee Greenwood singing in person. It was like, okay, like this is it was a heavy moment, but it felt great and proud and fantastic to be an American. And another one, probably odd because I was in Mexico at the time, and maybe a little bit more so, but when the women won the World Cup in 1999.
Soccer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Brandy Chastain?
Yeah. Because, I mean, I was watching that live. Like, it was 0-0, and, like, it went to PKs, and it was like, oh, like, well, we can actually do this. And we're at an all-inclusive resort, and then just hearing, like, the cheers from everyone, like, when it happened, it was like, oh, wow, like, this is a moment. Like, this feels fantastic.
Yeah. That's
that was a good one.
Probably on the list for a lot of people as well. G-Mac, what sticks out immediately for you?
9/11, George Bush throwing a strike.
Yeah.
Just an absolute bullet. And then that was awesome. Trying to think of like some others though. There are few and far between. You know, like yesterday be on the short list. A weird patriotic moment that I had, even though it had nothing to do with patriotic symbolism whatsoever. Well, I guess it had to do with symbolism. But like I had this great sense of like persistence and when Tiger Woods won the Masters in 2019. Like I know that has nothing to do with the United States of America, but there's something about like being down and out, counted out, and then finishing an unbelievable comeback that also had me feeling like very proud and like strong. So I guess that, even though it had nothing to do with the United States, that was like a patriotic moment of excitement and thrill.
There were a lot of those moments after 9/11. I mean, you could almost pick every major football game after that, be it how they started, what they did at halftime, either the captain or the team running out with American flags. I will say U2's halftime performance of the Super Bowl that year.
That was a good one.
Was definitely one where I think you kind of had to feel that. All the names of the victims of 9/11 coming down during halftime. Like that was one for me that I know was there, had to be there. And I remember too, like the 92 Olympics, the Dream Team. Not that anybody thought that they weren't going to do it, not that it was against any sort of odds, but that's the first time that the professionals went back and played, and to do it the way that they did it with, I guess, that group of characters. I mean, to see Magic and Jordan and Isaiah and Barkley go do that the way that they did was pretty incredible. So yeah, I mean, I think too, for me personally, a lot of the 96 Olympics, just because it felt like it was like right across the street in Atlanta. And then we had some of the soccer games here in Birmingham. Seeing Michael Johnson win, seeing a couple other United States athletes win, knowing it was right there in Atlanta, not too far away.
seeing the actual Olympic torch like run through Birmingham.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool. So that would be a couple other moments for me that I know would stick out immediately as just like most patriotic moments. But there
Lance Armstrong winning the Tour de France.
That wasn't one that really got the red, white, and blue.
I
juices
thought for
flowing.
you,
It differ a bit.
I thought for you that would be something that you'd be really fired up about.
No,
You're a big cyclist enthusiast, former pentathlete.
I have a story that I would love to share from yesterday driving around town, but
Oh boy,
not going to make the same mistake that somebody else has previously made on these airwaves, so I will save it. Entertaining for a commercial break, nonetheless.
I look forward to the. Can we go to break?
No,
I need to know where this is going.
Beham Dog tweets in. I have two. Super Bowl 1991, Whitney Houston performed the national anthem. The other 9/25/2001 Yankees White Sox baseball game post 9/11 still get chills.
Was that when George Bush threw out the first pitch?
Yeah, I don't think that was White Sox though, because that was World Series.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Ooh, I just got a good one from my buddy George. You know who you are. I'm not going to say his full name.
Bush.
No. He's W.
Cooney.
He's W. I don't need to.
Whitfield.
Patrick Reed versus Rory McElroy, Ryder Cup
Golly,
2016.
You talk about
Hazeltine.
I was bleeding red, white, and blue that day.
Did you actually watch it?
Literally,
it was actually
when I blew my
electric.
nose, it came out red, white,
It
and
was
blue.
electric. And you know what? That's your problem. He's too close-minded. He's too close-minded.
That was the day I got my American flag tattoo because I could not help by watching somebody who stole money from his teammates in their locker room go and
it wasn't
and win
about
for the United
that.
States.
It was more about
hitting that golf
seeing
ball.
two golfers literally openly talk major smack to each
That
other.
was it.
First time ever.
Yes.
When I think
Seemingly,
America,
yeah.
I think trash talking another guy.
That's
what I think.
actually a really good one.
Yes. Golly, I'm glad you brought that up.
I just don't want you to be in a dark spot. I don't want you to feel like you left any stone unturned going into this conversation.
No, how
Patriotism.
could I not? No.
Because ultimately, when I think patriotism, you're right.
That's what you think.
He almost
I'm
threw
not
up.
okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm not okay.
You know, it's Patrick Reed's just such an easy guy to root for. You know, against Rory of all people.
Oh, your cousin.
know?
Yeah.
And to make matters even more significant, imagine shushing Rory McElroy if you're Patrick Reed from across the green at Hazeltine, and then getting that image of you putting that index finger up to your mouth and the shh on your belt buckle. You can't.
Okay.
Not just anybody can pull that
Where
off.
at least
No,
I
yeah.
know I'm free.
And it might be a white belt.
And
I think it
won't
was a
forget
white belt too.
The men who died who gave that right to me. Yes, I feel that same way.
All right, let's go to Lee in Tennessee. Wants to discuss most patriotic moments watching a sporting event. Lee, welcome in.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I just want to say one of the most probably memorable things and patriotic things was the 1980 Olympics when the USA beat Russia. Unreal. I mean, it makes the hair stand up on my neck now just thinking about it. And the second thing was one thing that Greg said about the 2019 Masters when Tiger Woods won. We were in Texas at I think it's called Texas now, right beside the Arlington ballpark in the Texas Stadium.
Yes.
Watching it with like 5,000 of your closest friends. Unreal.
Wait a second, Lee. You watched the Masters at the ballpark in Arlington?
No, it was next door to in between the ballpark and where Cowboys play football.
God, okay.
Were you at Live?
Called Texas Live, I think.
Texas Live. Oh my gosh, that's a great place to watch it.
Oh, unreal.
I had just done the Texas A&M spring game the day before, and luckily my flight got delayed, and it was an early start. Remember, because weather was rolling in, I was able to watch the whole thing from Dallas Love Field. I'll remember exactly where I was. It was one of probably 4 different moments in my life in which I was almost borderline emotional watching someone capture victory. The Masters is patriotic to me, regardless of like how you feel about it. I know you're not a huge golf fan, but the Masters is,
No,
and
but
Tiger.
it's competitors from all over the world.
Yeah, it's just super cool to see an American win it, first and foremost, always. And then also to see Tiger complete his comeback for his kids. Like, how cool is that? You know, that was pretty awesome.
All right, so we will get to a break, come back. I have one that I cannot believe has not been mentioned.
Oh, boy.
When you're talking about I mean, I don't think anything's going to compare to Rory McElroy on the course with Patrick Reed.
Smack talking.
Just
here we go.
First time ever in golf.
Visions of USA flags.
I know what he's going to say.
Drumming up in your brain.
I already know what he's going to say.
Go for it.
When we were down there on the plains and we had our former running back, Cadillac, running out.
Yeah, because that spells nothing.
Running out.
USA like that.
And we were getting ready to play Vandy, whoever it was.
It was A&M.
A&M, same thing.
And I'm talking to him with the
mic
mic
I'm talking to him as they're getting ready to run out of the tunnel.
Yes.
And it was like, and the Eagles flying. And it's like, Coach, you're doing it for your team. How does it feel?
I had no idea I was Ricky Bobby. Apparently today I am.
But you're talking to a coach, so you have to talk in coach speak.
You nailed it. Okay, a different one.
Okay.
Believe it or not. That one did not churn. The Team USA feels like this maybe next will. I'll share with mine one of the best that I have experienced next right here on Jocks. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. We have been discussing moments of patriotism, most patriotic feels watching sports. The 91 Super Bowl, a couple of things post 9/11 that we've brought up. Whitney Houston's national anthem, George Bush throwing out the first pitch. Yesterday, Team USA, the 92 Olympic Games with Michael Jordan strategically using the flag to cover up the Reebok logo on the warm-ups at the gold medal ceremony.
So
I mean, what makes you feel better, more American than that?
Why you sit down on Reebok?
Thought you had me, Reebok. Didn't.
Yeah, but that was right in the pumps era.
Oh, that was a battle.
About to
But
say.
Dave and Dave, they were sponsored there and did absolutely nothing.
See?
What makes sports great, though? Like, what's the best part about it? We talk about this in college football all the time.
Winning,
Okay. But, like, the best part of making a game intriguing.
competing.
Rivalries.
Yeah.
You got to have a rival to conjure up the most feelings possible. Would you agree?
Yes.
Rivalries bring up the most intense amount of feelings.
Correct.
And the cool thing about some of these moments of patriotism is these are some of the longest standing rivalries on this earth for a lot of different reasons. Geographical, political, whatever it is.
Yes.
So not just, hey, you went to school there, you went to school there, but maybe different beliefs, maybe battles, disagreements over land. And
Yes.
some of these rivalries have brought up some of the most intense feelings ever when you're talking about patriotism. You think about bringing up some of these emotions and hatred when we talk about rivalries, not just Yankees, Red Sox, not just Auburn, Alabama, not just Army, Navy. But I'll give you a moment, Greg, in which one of the greatest rivalries in the history of the planet was on full display.
Once again, history could be made in Madison Square Garden. There he is, Hulkamania, the Hulk. Coming down the hallway. He is enormous.
Walking down the ring to face off against the Iron Sheik from Dabgan Saman, Imperial State of Iran. Right there after the Iran-Contra hearings, I think.
Close to it.
Nikolai Volkov right by his side. So you bring in the Russia portion of this rivalry as well. What greater rivalry to bring up to conjure up our feelings of hatred than Iran and Russia against one of the greatest American athletes of all time, Hulk Hogan, at least at that point in time before he turned heel.
He came back, though.
No other time in many people's lives have they wanted to drape an American flag over themselves and just run through the yard.
What year is this?
84.
That specifically was 1984, correct.
Okay, so you were how old?
Don't even know. I'm not even going to act like this was the only time that this happened, but it was just the first one that I found on YouTube that I decided that I would go to. You give me Hulk Hogan, that Hulk Hogan, against Nikolai Volkov or the Iron Sheik, and yes, that's top flight, pun intended, feelings of patriotism right there.
Nothing like real competition. Honest, real competition.
That's it. You're competing for the approval of the fans.
Literally fighting for the right of every man.
And that's it. And you're going out of your way to belittle both Iran, Russia, Nikolai Volkov, and the Iron Sheik, all four of them.
Got to, man.
Yes.
What better way to bring our country together than to say, there will be no camel clutch today. That will not happen.
Not happening.
There will be an atomic leg drop, and there will be a 1, 2, 3 in which you see American flags raised all across the arena. Oh, and by the way, Nikolai Volkov with your fur hat, if you would like to come in afterwards and try to disrupt things after that belt goes around the waist, you'll be wrong, sir. We'll break that flag in half, and we'll throw it to the ground. Tell me you didn't feel more American than when things like that take place.
I'll admit, I think there is
No argument to be had here.
There is a real patriotic element of the WWE and formerly the WWF. There is. I mean, you do have heroes and villains, and sometimes it is geopolitical. Like I think that there's something there. I think that's a good one. I'm going to let it stand. Not as good as when you and Cadillac ran the team out during a broadcast, national broadcast, but
hand
close.
in hand. We ran them out.
Hand in hand, arms
Holding
linked.
hands. Ran them out. Not an American flag in sight.
If we
other
would
than
have
hanging
just
up at the top of the
changed our
stadium.
colors that day to red and navy, it would have been great. Because the eagle was flying, me and
That was
Cadillac
it.
were in there. We were in the tunnel. We're doing it for Auburn. Doing it for America. If you would have done that.
Hogan took down 2 countries that day and elevated another.
Definitely.
Didn't see
All right.
Patrick Reed doing that.
Nope. More moments of patriotism in sports next on Jocks.